Good morning from Bicester. My name is Edward Lovett from Collecting Cars, and on this beautiful autumnal morning, I want to tell you more about this incredible site and the future of Bicester Motion. Many of you will know here on this site is where they host the scrambles and also the Collecting Cars coffee runs, but there's a huge amount more going on behind the scenes that you may not be aware of, and I'm looking forward to telling you some of those stories today. So this original site, Bicester Heritage, in 2026 will be 100 years old. But this is about mobility technology. And Pip White here from Bicester Motion is going to talk with us today about the future of this incredible site. Good morning.
Morning, Ed. How are you? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
How's things?
Brilliant.
Very good.
Thank you for organising the weather.
Well, it's always sunny at Bicester.
So I've been here many times, and I think actually my family were in this building with Porsche Classic when
That's
you
right.
first opened. But we have historic race preparers, we have Road Rat magazine, we have a building here which we're not allowed to talk about what's going in, but there's all sorts of exciting things going on here, from modern to old. Tell us about the inspiration and the future.
Well, we're talking about Bicester Motion, so a lot of the audience might not have heard of Bicester Motion yet. Bicester Motion owns the entire site, and so whilst you know Bicester Heritage and possibly the scrambles, definitely the coffee runs, what we're doing here is a little different to what's happened previously. We're on a mission to positively shape the future of mobility, and so we're doing something different, which is to create a community for like-minded mobility leaders, change makers, innovators who want a space to launch their brand or their business or their product from. So unique in the UK, no one else is doing this, and what you see around us now with the historic buildings, and as you said, 100 years old in 2026, is 5% of the total of what's going on here. So our entire holding is 450 acres of airfield and Airbnbs and development opportunity where we can create brilliant headquarter spaces for some of the best UK or international mobility leaders.
So you said this is not happening in the UK, but is it actually happening anywhere in the world?
No, we are at the moment the greatest concentration of like-minded mobility businesses and skills in the world.
These original Air Force bases are just remarkable purchases when they happened, and clearly for Dan to have had the vision when he did about what the future of this could look like is great to see unfold. I think you've been here now for 10 years?
10 years, yeah. It's been a hell of a journey. So the buildings that you see behind us were entirely derelict 11 years ago, and we got stuck into putting in new infrastructure under the ground and then restoring buildings in various phases. And so we've now, I think, repurposed and reactivated over 50 historic buildings, including 4 hangars.
All on this original site?
All on this original site.
And I think you said to me you're at 98% occupancy, and 98% retention rate since the first day, which is just a remarkable stat. A landlord would be very impressed to hear that. Who was your first tenant?
Oh, that's a very good question. We actually had a few sort of first tenants, one of which is Kingsbury Racing, who we're going to go and have a look at. And
these are WO Bentley specialists.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
And Pendine as well, the classic car dealer who we're walking past at the moment. And they're based in the old blast house, which is the auxiliary power station to the RAF base. So it has this amazing 3-foot thick blast wall around it and a double skin concrete roof. The roof itself has 1.5 meters of gravel packed onto it to protect it from direct hits. And power was a big thing.
Have they had any direct hits since?
Hopefully not.
And who is your most recent tenant?
Oh, that's a very good question. So we completed a run of new buildings here actually during the pandemic, an area of the site called the Command Works. And that now houses Zero Petroleum, Headley Studios, Hero, Motorsport UK. So those are all the latest tenants. And for us, they represent a step into the sort of modern mobility sectors, with our goal being really to create a destination for the past, present and future of mobility tech.
Amazing. Well, let's go from looking at these incredible 100-year-old buildings to buildings that have been built in the last 2 years.
One more time, think about me.
So, this is the command works, and in 2020, Bicester Motion delivered 77,000 square foot of new buildings here. And as you can see, with Zero Petroleum and Polestar, this is the modern part of mobility. Philip, how many tenants have you got here?
That's a good question. So there's 8 buildings, and they range from Motorsport UK, which is the governing body of British motorsport, through to Polestar's UK headquarters, which is on the right here. So they have an amazing showroom facility on the ground floor. There are offices above. They run tests from here, so you can come and try the products. But then behind us, as you said, Zero are championing synthetic fuel production. So they have incredible partnerships running with Airbus, Rolls-Royce, Toshiba to mastermind synthetic fuel production in the UK. It's an incredible business.
Have you gone out to find these tenants, or have they come to you?
Largely they've found us. The Scramble is a great marketing tool for the site.
Yeah.
And so with 8,000 people here over those event days, we welcome all sorts of businesses and technology leaders to have a look around at the same time as this amazing event takes place.
With a 98% occupancy, you're clearly turning a lot of people away. How are you going to satisfy the demand that you're creating here?
Again, really good question. So we're actually building another run of buildings at the moment. So the command works behind us was our latest project, which came to fruition over 18 months through COVID. No small feat. We then picked up an award at Constructing Excellence Awards for these buildings.
Congratulations.
But we are working on a project now called The Ranges, which is 210,000 square feet, and the first phase of which is fully
You've
let.
broken ground now.
Yeah. There's you might be able to hear in the background there's some beeping and lots of flashing lights, diggers and cranes and dumper trucks moving around to create YASA's new headquarters.
Okay.
So YASA are a wholly owned subsidiary of Mercedes-Benz, and they specialise in axial flux electric motors. They're an Oxford University tech spin-out, and are taking just over 90,000 square feet of headquarters space.
Just hearing the language you use describing your tenants and what they do is remarkable. When we talked about technology, it really is a hub of technology. What sort of size are you putting over here?
So that project as a whole is 210,000 square feet.
Okay. So going bigger again.
Much bigger again. So it's double the size of this just in the first phase. And in total it'll be 5 buildings. The buildings are very different to the kind of the grey boxes that you find around the UK. We build very high quality buildings, and they're designed to be headquarter spaces. So perfect for the likes of YASA.
Yeah.
But it'll be really exciting to see how that injection of new technology works across the site. And we've done quite a lot over the years to make sure that we're creating a seamless blend of modern buildings with the historic site.
So are these fully let now?
So the first phase is fully let.
It is.
We're hunting for occupants for the second.
And what size are the second?
They're 30,000 square foot each.
Okay. And what would the typical tenant look like for something like that?
Very similar to YASA.
Okay.
So mostly technology companies, all in automotive and aviation. So next to those buildings, we're creating something called a Vertiport in partnership with a company called Skyports.
Okay.
The UK's first Vertiport test bed. So this might be language
This
that
is
people have never heard.
drones or
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. So this is electric VTOL to eVTOL drone taxis, and we'll see them testing here in Q1 of next year. But Skyports are working with a company called Vertical Aerospace, Bristol-based, close to our hearts, and they are going to use the airfield here to test their technology and really also test the ground infrastructure as well. So how we can go through the check-in process and hop onto an electric drone and fly from here to London in under half an hour.
You must be learning a lot yourself about all this technology as well.
It's a learning curve. It's really, I mean, my roots are in historic motoring, but it's, if we have a passion for this thing, it's still cogs and wheels and in this case propeller blades.
Yeah, very much so.
It's really interesting to learn.
Well, let's go and meet some of your tenants, and maybe we'll catch up later on. There is obviously some space here to still let, so Pip White, he'll look after you.